Today, we're going to explore one of the most powerful teachings in Buddhism and one of the most important lessons for living a peaceful life: why attachment causes suffering. At first, this idea may sound strange. After all, don't we need attachment to be happy? We become attached to people we love. We become attached to our dreams. We become attached to our achievements. We become attached to the life we've built. So how can attachment be the source of suffering? The answer lies in understanding what attachment really is. Attachment is not love. Attachment is not appreciation. Attachment is not caring. Attachment is the belief that we need something to stay exactly as it is in order to be happy. It is the desire to hold on, to possess, to control, to prevent change, and that is where suffering begins. Because everything in life changes. Every relationship changes. Every situation changes. Every emotion changes. Every success eventually fades. Every possession ages. Every season comes and goes. Nothing remains exactly the same forever. Yet much of our suffering comes from expecting permanence in an impermanent world. Imagine holding a beautiful flower. You enjoy its beauty. You appreciate its fragrance. You admire its colors. There is peace in that experience. But the moment you become desperate to keep the flower exactly as it is forever, suffering begins. You fear its fading. You fear losing it. You become anxious about what time will inevitably do. The flower has not changed. Your relationship to it has changed. The same is true in life. Many people spend years trying to hold on to things that were never meant to stay the same. They hold on to old versions of themselves. They hold on to past relationships. They hold on to former successes. They hold on to expectations about how life should unfold. And when reality moves in a different direction, they suffer. The Buddhist teaching is not telling us not to enjoy life. It is teaching us to enjoy life without clinging to it, to love without possessing, to appreciate without demanding permanence, to participate fully in life while understanding its temporary nature. This understanding creates freedom, because when you stop expecting permanence from temporary things, disappointment loses much of its power over you. You begin to flow with life rather than fight against it, and in that flow, peace becomes possible. One of the greatest misunderstandings is believing that happiness comes from holding on. In reality, lasting peace often comes from learning how to let go, not because life is meaningless, but because life is precious. Its beauty comes partly from the fact that it does not last forever. Every sunset ends, every season changes, every moment passes, and because of that, every moment becomes valuable. When we understand this deeply, we stop trying to freeze life. Instead, we begin to truly live it. One of the strongest forms of attachment is attachment to other people. Human connection is natural. We all want love. We all want companionship. We all want to feel understood and accepted. There is nothing wrong with these desires. The problem begins when love turns into dependency, when our happiness becomes completely tied to another person's actions, approval, or presence. Many people believe attachment is proof of love, but attachment and love are not the same thing. Attachment says, I need you in order to be okay. Love says, I care about you deeply, but I understand that neither of us can control life. Attachment often creates fear. Fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, fear of change, fear of loss. These fears can quietly transform relationships into sources of anxiety. A person may constantly worry about losing someone they love. They may seek reassurance again and again. They may try to control situations to prevent uncertainty. Ironically, the tighter they hold on, the more suffering they create. Because no relationship can provide absolute security. Every person changes. Every relationship evolves. Life itself remains unpredictable. When we expect another person to remove all uncertainty from our lives, we ask them to do something impossible. This creates pressure for them and pain for us. Buddhist wisdom encourages a different approach. Love people fully. Appreciate them deeply. Be grateful for the time you share, but recognize that nothing belongs to us forever. This understanding does not make love weaker, it makes love purer. Because instead of loving someone for what they provide us, we learn to love them for who they are. We become more present, more grateful, more compassionate. We stop treating people as possessions, and we start treating them as fellow travelers on the journey of life. There is profound freedom in this. The freedom to love without fear, the freedom to appreciate without clinging, the freedom to accept that every relationship exists within the reality of change. When we stop demanding permanence, we begin to experience genuine connection. And genuine connection brings peace rather than anxiety. Many people believe their suffering comes from external problems, but often, suffering comes from attachment to who they think they should be. We become attached to success, to status, to recognition, to To personal achievements, we create an image of ourselves and spend years trying to protect it. We want others to see us as successful, intelligent, attractive, important, capable, and whenever reality threatens that image, we suffer. A setback becomes devastating. A criticism becomes unbearable. A failure feels like the end of the world, not because the event itself is so terrible, but because it challenges the identity we've become attached to. Consider how much stress comes from trying to control how others see us. Trying to avoid mistakes, trying to appear perfect, trying to maintain an image at all costs. This is exhausting, because perfection is impossible. No matter how successful you become, there will always be someone who disagrees with you, someone who misunderstands you, someone who criticizes you. If your peace depends on universal approval, peace will always remain out of reach. The same applies to our attachment to control. Most stress comes from trying to control things that cannot be controlled. Other people's opinions, the future, the economy, unexpected events, the passage of time. We spend enormous energy fighting uncertainty. Yet uncertainty is part of life itself. The more we resist this reality, the more tension we create. Freedom begins when we recognize the limits of our control. We can control our actions, our attitude, our effort, our choices, but much of life exists beyond our influence. Accepting this truth is not surrender. It is wisdom. It allows us to direct our energy toward what truly matters. Instead of exhausting ourselves trying to control everything, we learn to focus on what is actually within our reach. And that shift creates remarkable peace. Letting go is often misunderstood. Many people think letting go means giving up. They think it means becoming indifferent. They think it means not caring. But true letting go means something very different. It means releasing the need to control outcomes. It means releasing resistance to reality. It means making peace with uncertainty. Imagine carrying a heavy stone every day. At first, you barely notice the weight, but over time, it becomes exhausting. Many people carry emotional stones, old resentments, past failures, regrets, unmet expectations, painful memories. The burden grows heavier year after year. Eventually, they become so accustomed to carrying it that they forget they have a choice. But they do. They can put it down, not by pretending the past never happened, not by denying their emotions, but by deciding that they no longer want the past to control their present. Forgiveness is a form of letting go. Acceptance is a form of letting go. Trust is a form of letting go. Every time we release our grip on something we cannot change, we recover a little more peace. This process is not always easy. The mind prefers certainty. It prefers familiar suffering over unfamiliar freedom. But growth often requires releasing what no longer serves us. The person you were 5 years ago is gone. The circumstances of yesterday are gone. The future has not arrived. All that truly exists is this moment. And when we stop clinging to what was or obsessing over what might be, we become available for what is. That is where peace lives. As we come to the end of this reflection, remember that the goal is not to stop loving. It is not to stop dreaming. It is not to stop enjoying life. The goal is to stop clinging, to stop demanding that life remain exactly as we want it to be. Everything changes. This truth can feel frightening at first, but it can also be deeply liberating. Because once we accept change, we stop fighting reality. We stop wasting energy resisting the inevitable. We become more present, more grateful, more peaceful. We learn to enjoy what we have while it is here, without being consumed by fear of losing it. We learn to appreciate success without becoming attached to it, to love people without trying to possess them, to pursue goals without allowing them to define our worth. This is the path toward inner freedom. A freedom that does not depend on perfect circumstances. A freedom that remains available even during difficult times. Because true peace comes not from controlling life. It comes from understanding life. And one of the deepest truths we can understand is this: the more tightly we hold on, the more we suffer. The more gracefully we let go, the more peace we find. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and support the channel for more content on mindfulness, personal growth, and timeless wisdom. Take care of your mind, protect your peace, and I'll see you in the next video.